The traditionalists of Europe knew what to do with all that excess pubescent energy. Never mind about allowing them time to develop. What these savages needed was sports-based schooling, then regimentation into pre-military cadet organizations. During the 1870s, this impulse was given an extra impetus by the industrial ascendancy of Germany, an aggressive new nation-state that destabilized old European order and began what would be a 40-year arms race. The clearest exposition of the militarist vision for youth was given by a 40-year-old German lieutenant colonel, Baron Colmar von der Goltz. Von der Goltz observed that the time from the 18th to the 24th year was best suited to military service. He shrewdly suggested how to exploit the physical and psychological attributes of this age group. The body is then quite vigorous enough to endure hardships, and the soldier is yet free and unfettered. The grain of heedlessness, a quality peculiar to that freshness of youth, is an excellent incentive to martial achievement. A young field army, particularly one uniformly young, is greatly superior to any other. In his 1883 book, The Nation in Arms, von der Goltz accurately foresaw that, as one of the revolutionary changes in the science of war, the whole population would be involved in any national conflict. Having as its aim the complete subjection of the enemy, the new condition of total war would demand complete commitment and major sacrifices from soldiers and non-combatants alike. It is only the young that depart from life without pangs. They are not as yet fettered to this earth by the thousand threads that civil life weaves round us. They have not as yet learnt to be sparing in the hours of life. The enigma which they are curious to solve still lies before them as a closed book. They mount the hill without perceiving the abruptness of the precipice on the other side. Their love of adventure rouses their eagerness for battle. The strength of the nation lies in its youth. Boys were taken away from their homes at the age of 12 and 13 and placed into barrack-like peer societies, usually called houses, largely administered through an efficient peer system. At the time, every minute of their day was accounted for through a meticulous timetabling that would enable a headmaster to find out where every youth was at a given time. This was deliberate. To quote Davenport Adams, idleness was the sin of Sodom. "5 days before the premiere of Peter Pan, this Piper of Pax unveiled his manifesto in the Eton College Chronicle, a revealing choice. His letter began with the siege premise. In England we are a small country surrounded by nations far stronger in arms, who may at any time attempt to crush us. The question is, how can we prevent them? Invoking the Knights of the Middle Ages, Baden-Powell proposed a test for every English boy to ask himself the first of every month, what have I done for the good of the country apart from what I have done for my own personal amusement or improvement? Baden-Powell decided to form a series of local groups primed for the reading of adventure stories, who would then be taught how to shoot miniature rifles, how to drill and skirmish, and how to scout. These corps would be explicitly charged with a litany of knightly duties. 1. To fear God. 2. Honor the king. 3. Help the weak and distressed. 4. Reverence women and be kind to children. 5. Train themselves to the use of arms for the defense of their country. 6. Sacrifice themselves, their amusements, their property, and if necessary, their lives for the good of their fellow countrymen." Each scout was bound by promises that included loyalty to the king, his country, his scouters, his parents, his employers, and those under him. These also insisted that a scout obeys the orders of his parents, patrol leader, or scoutmaster without question. Baden-Powell echoed Henry Newbolt in his address to the younger generation of Britons who are now growing up to be the men of the empire. Don't be disgraced like the young Romans who lost the empire of their forefathers by being wishy-washy slackers without any go or patriotism in them. Play up, each man in his place, and play the game. Even before its end, the Great War had forever destroyed the automatic obedience that elders had expected from youth. The myth of sacrifice had become a double-edged sword. Young soldiers expected to do their duty, but if they survived, they felt that they had earned the right to dictate their own myth. If they were to be sacrificed, then it would not be on behalf of the elders who remained at home. No, their sacrifice would be offered at the altar of a new youth class, the generation that in their millions had fought against each other, suffered together, and who would always be bound by that terrible experience. In the years immediately after the war, there was a rapid incidence of aggressive adolescence throughout Europe. Whether in the radical crisscross politics of the new fascist party, in the expressionist dramas like Arnold Brunen's Patricide, or in the sociological inquiries that attempted to define these chasms. To be a father in 1919 and 1920 meant being part of a generation that had sent youth to war. The war veterans and their younger cohorts sought to turn the tables and to rewrite the infanticidal legends.